Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
Okay, I'm going to show you a white Christian nationalist, basically, a fascist, Charlie Kirk, celebrating, right? And there's a reason why I want you to see this very short clip.
Guys, Donald Trump has won the White House. Yeah! It is 5 a.m. Eastern. We are here, and we just say thank you, Lord, for this. Thank you for all of you who voted. By the way, thank you to all of you on TikTok. I have a feeling we did some good things on TikTok. And thank you to our amazing tech team, Terrell, and the whole team, Brian. All those videos were shot and produced. Dallin, the whole team, Emma. You guys, Donald Trump, the best is yet to come, everybody.
Okay, so that's the white Christian nationalists celebrating that they elected themselves a fascist dictator and saying that they did some good stuff on TikTok. See, this is what I'm telling you. This is where the influencers have been. This is how they reached our children. And they're not children. They're men and girls, too. But this is how they reach them. They reach them on social media. Elon Musk turned Twitter into a one-way propaganda machine. The algorithm literally changed on TikTok to the point where I don't see the people I follow anymore. I have to look for them. I have to actually actively, positively, affirmatively look for people I follow on Twitter, okay? When I go on there, I'm seeing what Elon wants me to see, what Elon's algorithm thinks I need to see. That's social media. That's why the young kids, that's why the 18 to 29s flipped. They went like from 56% of them voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden was appealing to them. But Kamala Harris wasn't? Oh, please. No, they were talked out of it by, the video. Listen, here's my proof. When people who ingest an inordinate amount of social media are more concerned that a trans girl might actually play volleyball on a boys' team or vice versa, okay? Well, that a trans girl might play volleyball on a girls' team, right? Than they are about climate change. Yeah, I rest my case. That's exactly what has happened to our society. It's exactly what has happened to civilized society, polite society. And the more, violent the talk got from Donald Trump, the darker the talk got, the more entertained they were. The more they were like, yes, we have to get even with the trans girl who might be playing on the girls' team but doesn't deserve to be playing. The more we need to vote for his anti-trans rhetoric, for his hatred of the trans girl who might, which happens like once in a blue moon, one in a million. Okay, it's not a thing. It's not something that's an epidemic in our country. It's not something that's picking your pocket. It's not something that costs you anything at all, and it doesn't happen all that often anyway. But climate change, my God. He was running with one hurricane after another hurricane after another hurricane after another hurricane, and people were more concerned about the trans girl. I'm sorry, but this is exactly what Elon Musk and TikTok and social media and algorithms are supposed to do. They're supposed to make you not care about what you need to care about and start investing an inordinate amount of energy and thought and emotion into something that doesn't even happen. They talked America into believing that crime was rampant, that it was on the upswing, that violent crime was everywhere. Not in your neighborhood because you didn't see it, right? I mean, like if you actually had to go out of the house, you wouldn't see rampant crime. You wouldn't see rape. You wouldn't see murder. You see that on social media. You saw, the jewel thieves, okay, which we will always have among us, robbing, jewelry stores. That's what you saw. You saw people, looting, and videos of that guys like him, guys like these white nationalists, these supremacists, these, Christian freaks of nature are shoving down our kids' throats, making them believe that crime is out of control somewhere. Definitely not in your neighborhood, but somewhere it is. It is. And you need to vote to get that number down. Crime is so low right now in this country. It is at an all-time, especially violent crime is at an all-time low. The economy is thriving. We are, as the Financial Times described us just ahead of the election, as the economy that is, quote, the envy of the world. The social media people were trying to tell you that, our economy sucks and that immigrants are taking your jobs. That's insane. It's not happening anywhere at all. And I will tell you something I've learned by just, diving into the numbers and reading some of your comments to me. Thank you for reaching out to me with some of your thoughts. Some of you are so, you're just so nasty that I don't even want to write you back and say that's a good point. But somebody made a good point in a very, very hostile way, like attacking instead of engaging, because that was a good conversation I wish I could have had with you. But somebody was saying that they worked in construction and that they worked with Mexicans in construction, and that it was their experience that Mexicans really, really resent Central Americans. They really resent Nicaraguans, they really resent Hondurans, and they really resent El Salvadorans from coming into their towns. They just have just so many jobs, or they just have so many resources in the town, and the addition of these people who, they can't support, was just too much for them to bear. And so, especially border towns, a lot of the Mexicans in border towns voted for Donald Trump. Now, the last time I saw Hispanics and Latinos vote in this manner for a Republican, it was W. How'd that turn out? Yeah, not good. It was W. But what was so completely underhanded, what was so ugly, is that there was a border bill. There was a bipartisan border bill. It was negotiated by James Lankford in Oklahoma, a Republican, Kirsten Sinema in Arizona, a border state, and Chris Murphy of Connecticut, where they were busing people. And it was a perfect border bill. It would have given more detention beds, more Border Patrol agents, more a higher standard to even ask for asylum had to be proved, right? They, instead of like a preponderance of the evidence, just to use an example, it now had to be beyond a reasonable doubt, okay, to claim asylum, and more asylum judges to hear those cases. And people would stay in detention while their cases were being heard. And Donald Trump ordered it to not be voted for by the people, the sycophants that he already owned in the Senate. Okay? So he could run on this hatred. So Charlie Kirk could make these videos. So TikTok could show you videos. So that the border people, the border counties would vote for Donald Trump. Truly. It's unbelievable. Immigrants in this country do so much of the hard work, and the resentment that that was elevated by social media, it's an amazing thing that you could turn one group against another. And the resentment about Puerto Ricans, I think this is why Puerto Ricans were mentioned in such a terrible way. It's because they're Americans. They don't have to go through some things in order to work in this country. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.